Alrighty folks, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. You see behind me, you see where I'm at again. We're back with the 1650s and the velocity stack this time, so we can get a good dyno, so we can get on the track and give shake and bake all the beans and get deeper into those nines. Stay tuned. She's on the startup tune to get her back to the dyno. We got the injectors in, we got the velocity stack in. Dave just did a startup tune and started her up a second ago. Woo, sounds rowdy. Can't wait to get on the dyno and see them numbers. Take a look at this one. I don't think that was quite a full pull. It was a full pull. There you go. $834 and 677. We'll say 835 and 677. Not bad, not bad. And that's just getting started. We ain't even messed with the tune yet. So Dave's gonna work his magic. We'll come back for another. This is just the baseline. We'll come back for another pull in a second. All right, he made some adjustments. Here we go. I'm gonna call it 872 horsepower, 702 torque. Woo-hoo-wee! We up there, fellas, we up there. And that's only going to 6,500. So we are gonna move the shifts. I'm not sure how far he's gonna move them. I said, hey, let's move them to like 6,700, 6,800. So we'll see what happens with that. So hey, 872, 70, we'll call it 702 torque. Not bad, baby, not bad. Stay tuned, we got more tweaking, more pulls coming. All right, we made some more tweaks. And we got pretty big injectors. As y'all know, 1650s are pretty big. So literally at the top end, we were roughly said about 56, 57%. So trying to smooth that out, and now the secondary pump is kicking in as well. So he's trying to smooth all that out as much as he can, but we did get some very, very, very big injectors. But we'll see how it goes. We're about to do another pull and see where we're at. So we're trying to smooth out the AFR a little bit. So Obviously, the car's getting hot. This is a 4th run now. Sorry, it's the 4th run now. So that's 864 and 696 torque, which is still not bad. Hey, that's awesome. That's still pretty good. But he is trying to smooth out the AFR curve a little bit. Y'all see it in the bottom. So I'm sure we tweak a little bit, that'll come back up. So stay tuned, folks. Video ain't gonna do it no justice. Ooh, it's loud. I'm gonna call that 898 and 703 torque. 898 and 703 torque. Those are big numbers. Big numbers from a little itty bitty engine. The little red engine that could. 898. Woo!
Another 100 horsepower.
And that's at 6,700. So now we're stretching it out to 6,700. So comparatively speaking, when we ran it out to 6,800 last time, it was 675, 676. So he's still got some tweaking to do at the 6,700 shift points. So we'll let Dave do his magic, his little keyboard magic, his whiz bang stuff. And hopefully we come back next time and maybe see a 9 up there. Another pull, 893 horsepower, 694 in torque. Obviously the car is definitely getting hot, there's no doubt about that. Dave's still doing his thing. But yeah, we making some horsepower today, folks. We're gonna do some testing, we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah.
Not enough yet.
Not enough yet. Max says not enough yet. We're getting there though.
Pretty good for an all-motor car. But ProCharged, not enough.
Not enough.
Should have had a 6.4.
Here we go. Should have bought a Hellcat.
No, not a Hellcat.
6.4 with some drop ins.
A 6.4 bottom end, yeah. 6.4 head. You'd have made like 100 horsepower up right now. Then you'd been doing all right.
We'll be doing all right in a minute. Dave's gonna work his magic.
Practical 5.7.
All right, folks. We're on the live too. So see, look, y'all see each other. We're on the live. It does. It sounds real good. Get ready. It's about to get loud. blew that sign over again.
Tell you what, hold on. We're gonna make a guess.
All right.
Ask people what they think it made.
All right. I'm gonna throw it to the 13 people out there. What do you guys think it made this round? All right, we on the live, folks. So if you missed the live, so sad. But
It's still in the 900s. It's hot. 905.
what do we got for guesses? All right, 930,
That was 905. It was a little hot.
922. 985 is way too high, man. I wish 985.
Yeah, but
913.
that air fuel is getting straighter.
Yeah. We got some close ones. We actually dropped a tad. It went to 90. We'll call it 907.
It's hot, man. It's hot.
It only dropped one. Or 905. I'm sorry, 905. 905 and 693.
Almost
693 torque.
In here, coated air, which means it's hotter over there.
Yeah, so it's warm. It's as warm as it was last time. I think the weather's comparable to last time I was here.
Yeah, like I said, I think that again.
Yeah, we're still on the D1X.
You got to remember, at the track, you're going to let it cool off before a run too. So
Right.
you're going to be cooler at the track. Once he's finished, we still got to do the hood down test. But the real question is how much 30 pounds of ice is going to do for it.
Right. So we're gonna do some additional test. We're gonna do some additional testing. I got the GoPro too. So we're gonna do some additional testing. We're gonna go once we get it dialed in.
I'd say 940.
We're gonna let the car cool down. We'll do a test with the hood shut.
I'd say 940 final number. That's my guess today.
We'll do it with the hood shut. See what happens with the hood shut, and then we're gonna get like 30 pounds of ice and run it then. Pack it as full as we can with ice, and then do a run with ice cooling down the air charge and see what we get.
My guess, final number, 940.
Mac is guessing 940. I'll go 935 on the big end. But hey, you guys on the video are just gonna have to wait. All right, I'm back from the live. So hey, you guys can check out the live. We Mac and I talking smack, having a little bit of fun. But the last pull.
Someone commented, Dave's definitely got the AC on.
So that's 912 because it's 912.4. We'll call that 912. 702 torque, which is awesome, man. Dave's doing his thing, man, making shake and bake. She's rolling. And that's at 6,800 where we want to shift at. So shake and bake, making some steam. She making some power, folks. We're doing what we can. So like I said earlier, we're gonna once Dave's got it 100% dialed in, we're gonna shut the hood, do a pull, see what closing the hood does, and then me and Mac are gonna take a timeout, put shake and bake on cool down, go get 30 pounds of ice, come back. We're gonna fill the ice tank full of ice as much as we can, and then do one more glory pull, and then we're looking for, I said 935, Mac says 940. We'll see what happens with letting the car cool down and putting some ice in the back. So stay tuned, folks. The glory pull is coming. All right, folks. So I'm going to try to explain this. I'm sure Mac will jump in every once in a while. But so what we're trying to do is, because the injectors are so big, I probably should have got 1440s. I'll make another video about that. But I did what I did. I got the 1650s. Because they're so big and the duty cycle is so low, they're so touchy to tune and get right that Dave's having problems. So what Matt did is lowered the initial fuel pressure down about 5 pounds.
Oh, it's more like 10 or so, maybe a little bit more. But what it does is
about 10 pounds.
Increases the duty cycle.
So what he's trying to do is increase the duty cycle of the injectors
to make them less touchy on changes, but it seemed to help the first pull. Here, I'll just talk. So
go ahead.
It seemed to help the first pull, but then it's randomly going rich and losing power when he first hits it, and then it comes back, and you can hear the pitch change in the engine. So what we're assuming is Don's wires are really tight.
I'll show you them in a minute.
Yeah. So we think that maybe it could be pulling on one of the coil wires and losing signal for a minute. not a minute, but
a second.
I mean, it's slow enough that it takes over a minute to do a pull, but
yeah.
So we're probably gonna add pigtails to the injector side to loosen up all the wires in hopes that maybe that solves a potential problem. It needs to be done no matter what.
It does, and which I was gonna do long term anyway.
The 1050s,
I just hadn't done it yet.
the 1050s have a lower point where they plug in, so they're a little looser, and the 1650s are a little higher, so it stretches the wires a bit more.
Yeah, so it stretches them a little bit more. And
we can do that
they're stretched
fast
to the
here
max.
and be done.
Yeah, we can do that within
20 minutes.
20, 30 minutes. But, so, just to let you know where we're at.
Doing good, doing good.
So the last pull, I didn't do all the pulls because we're doing a lot of pulls trying to get the injectors right. So the last pull was 923 horsepower, 709 torque.
You know, when I break this out, it's a bad day for Don.
It's a bad day for me when he pulls out the soldering gun. So let me show you the wires real quick. Let me get
Slide it over.
let me pull this back over here. Hop up here. Set this up front in a safe spot. So what he's talking about is my wires here. You can see how well they're pulling on the injector wires. And they're not so much the coil wires aren't so bad.
That's pretty tight still, though.
Some of them are pretty tight. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna snip them all off and add a pigtail, which is gonna add some wire to it, and I'll clean it up later.
Did you
but
see how it's still pulling this up?
yeah.
It may or may not help.
So we're gonna fix all that because it needs to be done anyway. And Mac's a great guy, and he loves me. So we're gonna fix that stuff.
The good news is I'm hungry.
Yeah,
it's gonna make $9.50, and you're gonna buy us pizza or something. So
I think with ice, I think you're right. I think it's gonna make $9.50. So yeah, so making $9.22 without ice, and we add ice. Yeah, it could be pretty close to $9.50 for sure. If we add enough ice to cool it down. But last time, I don't think we added enough ice to really cool everything down. But that's where we're at. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna come back, let Dave try another run, get her dialed in a little bit better. Then we'll do a hood shut, and then we'll move on to the ice. So stay tuned. I probably won't do every pull if he does a couple, because we've already seen enough pulls. I'll just come on and show you the results. Okay, so the wire fix didn't quite fix the little blip. But what's good is the little blip, it goes a little rich and then kicks back in. So at least it's going rich and not lean. So that's a good thing. So we're gonna leave it where it's at. And you know, we'll take it to the track, we'll see what happens. We'll do some logs, and we'll let Dave look at the logs and see if there's anything funky in there. But so that's the last pull before we do the ice pull. So 934 and 717 torque. Not bad numbers at all. All right, lost my battery, so I'm back. So 934, 717 torque with no ice. Pretty solid numbers, man. I love those numbers. I was thinking 930-ish, but I'm still surprised it did 930. So yeah, really good numbers. So for you 5.7 folks that are going big numbers, want 900, get 1440 injectors, not 1650s. 1650s are a bit big, and I'll do a little video on that in between. I'll use that as a filler video later. But yeah, Shake and Bake's making some steam, she's making some power, and what we're gonna do now is let her cool down. Dave and Max got to do some business, let the car cool down. We're gonna go get 30 pounds of ice. We'll empty the tank, put the ice in, make a glory run, and see if we can't get that 950 number. Alrighty folks, 35 pounds of ice later, we got the pump running, so the intercooler is cooled.
Look at it.
The return coming back is cold. You can see it.
Frost.
You can see it.
We got frost on the intercooler now, Dave.
All right, so we're going for the glory pull now.
just went way richer, I think. Or is that the old one?
I can't tell. He's got too many up there. All right.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, something's not right. 935, but it picked up 7 foot-pounds of torque. Not
Look at when
724.
it picked up all under the curve.
But it picked up under the curve a lot.
Oh, it made 724.
Yeah, 7 more torque than the last one. But look under the curve where it made. It didn't necessarily make peak power, but it made it everywhere else but.
I need to do one more pull.
All right, we may have to do one more. All right, we're gonna try another glory pull because we picked up some torque, but we didn't pick up any horsepower.
Yeah.
971, 750 torque. Woo! Shake it, bake, making some steam, boy. Woo! Putting out the horsepower. Now that's what we were looking for.
But also, holy shit.
All right, we're gonna talk about this and kind of figure out, see what we think happened. And I'll come back and let y'all know.
The next day.
Indigo, Indigo. Bean is over there. He's not listening. So Bean's not wanting to be part of the video today. So I'm gonna plant you guys here on the table for a sec. What I'm gonna do is just wrap up what happened last night. So to put things in perspective, the first couple runs we did were at 6,500, and they were in the 9. You can go back and look at the video. They were roughly about the same, maybe a little more than we were last time. Though we were having a cam position problem. So what was happening, the cam was positioning correctly, and then at around 6,000, 5,900, it would snap back 10 degrees. And it was somewhat intermittent. It would only do it once, and then we get a couple good pulls, and then it happened again. As the night went on, it got worse. We didn't have time to fix it, or we weren't in the fix it mode quite yet. So we were doing pulls. Dave was tuning, trying to figure out the cam position problem and trying to figure out, you know, how to tune around it. So then finally we got to the point where, all right, let's try and diagnose the problem, figure out what's going on, and fix it. So the first thing our thoughts was my wires were too tight on the injectors and the coil packs. I explained it a little bit in the video. So when we put the 1650 injectors, the comparison between the ID 1050s and the thick injectors is the connection point is maybe a quarter of an inch, half an inch higher on the thick injectors than it is on the ID injectors. So when it was on the ID injectors, they were tight but not super tight. When we moved to the thick injectors, the wires were extremely tight and getting stretched. So what we thought was happening is there might have been some intermittent connection issues with the injectors. So we cut off all of those connectors, added pigtails, which added, gosh, 1.5 1.75 inches of wire to each one of the injectors. So that cleaned up the wiring. Looks a lot better too. Cleaned up all the wiring, which also alleviated the tension that was at the coil packs as well. So we alleviated all that. Thought that was our issue. That's when we got into there was a 930 run, and then right after that is when we did the 971 run, or 973. And that's when we were on ice. So we went back, sat down after that run, and just thought about it a second. And Dave was like, well, there was some conversation between me, Mac, and Dave. And Dave's like, you know what, let me go back, look at the log, see what the log says, and see if we can try and figure out what the problem is. Because we were still having it after we did the extended the wires. So we went back, and he's seen it before, but not quite the way mine was doing it. And he had a fix for it because he tuned around it in this other car. But that wouldn't work for mine because it was a different timing issue in different places. So then we started looking at other mechanical things, like the solenoid. It could be a lifter, could be something deeper, could be the phase limiter wasn't working correctly. Maybe there's something happened with the cog that's in the limiter. Maybe one of the tooth broke or something. Like, we were thinking of 1,000 different things, and finally Mac was like, well, maybe it's just the VVT solenoid, and let's see if we can swap that out. So he took one off another engine that's gonna do a phase locker, so he doesn't need that solenoid, the VVT solenoid, anymore. Took it off of that car, put it into my car, and we did 4 runs, I think, back to back to back, and they were spot on. And they were 903, I think 903 and 700 torque, and they were just right back to back, boom, 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 boom. So then we thought, well, hey, let's just see if adding some timing will make a difference. So we added 1.5 degrees, and it made 3 horsepower. It went from, or 6 horsepower, went from 903 to 909. And I was like, it's just not worth it to take the chance for 6 horsepower. So we're back to 12 degrees of timing. It's still running about 18 pounds. It was running 18 pounds of boost last night, and we were hitting 903 consistently, like 3 times in a row. It hit 903, and then we decided to let the car cool down. Or no, it went from 903 to 906, so it only picked up 3 horsepower with the 1.5 degrees. So we let the car cool down for probably 30 minutes. Went back out for another pass just to see if this replacing the solenoid actually fixed the problem, and it ran a 909 after being cooled down, back on 12 degrees of timing. So, all right, it picked up 6 horsepower by cooling down. That makes sense, right? So all of that to say, the issue was the solenoid. Once we replaced the solenoid, arguably that dropped the power a little bit into the 900s, into the 903 versus 930 with without ice. Those were without ice, because I wasn't going to pay for another 5-6 bags of ice to do another ice run. But arguably the power would, if the car cooled down all the way, power would be roughly the same as it was when we were having the cam angle problems. So I just wanted to make sure we were on 100%. Oh, and we went from 9,500 shifts to 9,800 or 6,500 shifts to 6,800 shifts. I know this is kind of a long video, but I wanted to come on and do a final wrap up to make sure everyone knows and understands, you know, what runs were what, and what happened, and why we're back down a little lower in power, which is fine. Now the car is running 100% like it should. We fixed the problem, and that's the key, right? So yeah, so those last numbers were 909 and like 701 torque. So that's kind of where we are. I'm still going to claim the 971 because it did do 971. But hey, is what it is, folks. So y'all can take this dyno video for what it is. We're going to go to the track, and that's going to give us what we need. All right, that'll tell us the true story when we hit the track. My intent is to hit the track on Saturday at Cecil. We'll see what happens, but that's my plan. So stay tuned for the next track video. That will tell the tale on where we are when it comes to horsepower and that. So I appreciate everyone sticking with me through this video. I know this is probably going to be a 20-25 minute video. I'm not sure. I'm at 9 minutes doing this wrap up, or 10 minutes doing this wrap up, but I wanted to make sure it was 100% clear we were having issues. One, we started at 6,500, then we moved to 6,800. We were having issues, continue to have issues, finally fixed those issues, and that did drop the power down just a tad. But I appreciate everyone, you know, sticking with me through this video. I appreciate all the subscribers, and you 9 subscribers, y'all need to think about subscribing. I'm going to talk about that in a sec. But I appreciate everyone watching the videos, whether you're subscribed or not. I appreciate you watching the video, going through those ads. It's 100% helpful, and it does not, your support does not go unnoticed by me or Shake and Bake, because Shake and Bake loves the support, because every red penny from YouTube goes right back into Shake and Bake. But that is going to do it for this one, folks. Stay tuned for the next one. Racing coming. But if you are stopping in for the first time, please check out the rest of the channel. If you like what's going on with the rest of the channel, do me those few things: like, subscribe, smash the bell, shoot me a comment, share it on your social media. I'll definitely appreciate it. Shake and Bake will definitely appreciate it, because like I said, every red penny from YouTube goes right back into Shake and Bake. That's it for this one, folks. Until race time, adios.